Anna? Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Angela?
Yes, yes,
Yeah?
yes, I can hear you now, yeah.
I muted myself, yeah. No, I am recording, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well then I think you're good to go. Let's go. Thank you.
Okay, so bom dia. Shall we start off with bom dia in Portuguese? Here it's really early in Rio. It's 9 a.m. I know you all must have had your lunch already and are now having a nice coffee and getting ready for the weekend. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what our amazing Brazil has to offer. I'm sure many of you have sold Brazil already or have been here or know a little bit about the country, but I hope I can help you with a bit more information. So, as you can see on this map, Brazil is a huge country and it is very, very diverse, having lots of different opportunities for all different kinds of clients. I think everyone, when they think of Brazil, the first thing that comes to their mind, obviously, is the marvelous city of Rio, where I'm located today. Comes samba, football. Those are the first things that come to mind. But there's a lot more to the country than just Rio. We have the Amazon up in the north. We have the wetlands in the center of the country. To the south, we have Florianopolis, which is very European. We have the whole northeast coast, which is full of amazing tropical beaches. So normally I say Brazil is a country that has something for everyone, no matter what people are thinking that they would like to do. If it's culture, if it's history, if it's just relaxing and sipping cocktails on the beach, you name it, we have it. And coming in from South Africa, now things are changing a lot. I'm not sure how South African Airways flights are, but they had stopped their flight to São Paulo. But you have LATAM flying from Joburg directly into São Paulo, which is a 9-hour flight. And from São Paulo, we have connections to all the other cities. So it's very easy to get from South Africa to Brazil. So let's go on to our amazing Rio de Janeiro. So this is the first entry point when people are thinking of coming to Brazil. The first place of coming is to Rio. Normally we suggest that guests would stay in Rio about 2 to 3 nights. You can do a week in Rio, you can do 15 days in Rio. As you can see from the map, it's a very spread out city and has a lot of activities. So the main strip that to your left, to the right, sorry, on your screens, you can see the Sugarloaf. That whole beach strip in front of it is what we call Copacabana. Copacabana Beach is where most of the hotels are located. It's a residential area, but also the most dense touristy area of the city, and you'll find most of the hotels located there. Then next to that, you have Ipanema and Leblon, which are a bit more residential. I'm at the moment, if you can see number 15 on the map, I'm sitting more or less in that area, a couple of blocks in from the beach. Then you have the brown area all over is the largest urban forest inside a city is located in Rio. So there's a lot of activities you can do. For example, being on the beach in the morning, in the afternoon, you can be trekking in the tropical forest, doing some nice walks, a lot of interesting things. And then over the mountains to the left, there's an area called Barra da Tijuca, which is a newer area of the city. And this area became very popular during the Olympic Games. I pretentiously call it the Miami of Rio. So it's where you have 22 kilometers of beach, some resorty style hotels, no all-inclusive hotels. They're resorty style, but not all-inclusive. And so it's 22 kilometers of beach, highways, shopping centers. So it's a nice relaxing area. So sometimes you might have guests that want to come to Rio, want to do the highlights of Copacabana, the Sugarloaf, the Christ Redeemer, but then would like to have a couple of days on a relaxed beach, but don't want to travel by plane or don't want to go a long transfer. So Barra da Tijuca can be a very good combination if you want to do something more budget orientated and very comfortable as well, where they can have that holiday sort of feeling. So going back to the hotels quickly, number 14 on the map is the new Fairmont. It's the first Fairmont in South America, opened last year in August. Unfortunately is closed at the moment and will reopen on the 1st of September. Okay, just so that location is a very good location because it's located on Copacabana Beach, but is walking distance to Ipanema, Leblon, where you have lots of shops and little boutiques. So some of the hotels that we've chosen with Thompson's together to do some great packages is Windsor Lamb and Novotel Lamb. Going back to the map, just so you can see where they're located, they are located at the very end there where you see number 13 and number 5. So they are all on Copacabana Beach, but in a more relaxed little secluded area. So not so busy. They're very good options, both of the hotels. The Novotel Lamb is not on the beachfront, but it's not even a 5-minute walk. I would say 3 minutes and you're on the beach. The hotel is brand new. It just reopened last year in December. So, and it has a very, very attractive price. It's great for families. So I think it could be a very good option. The Windsor Lamb is also a very nice 4-star hotel. Then we have more located in the center of Copacabana Beach, the Windsor Excelsior and the California. The California is a 4-star superior hotel and the Windsor Excelsior would be a 4-star, very nice for families. All the hotels have swimming pool, they have beach services. Important that the hotels in the south zone of Rio, so Copacabana and Ipanema, won't have big swimming pools, like resort swimming pools, because it's in this area, residential area that's all buildings. So most of the hotels are on the rooftop and they will be smaller. The idea of Rio is be outdoors, enjoy the beach. The beach that you see is our backyard. As we all live in buildings, the beach is where we socialize, is where we meet our friends, is where we do our exercise. Everything is about the beach. Some of the activities in Rio that are interesting to offer to guests, obviously, is the Tijuca forest, the jeep tours that can be just through the forest up to the Christ Redeemer. We have here our amazing Christ that is always looking after us all over the city. We have the Sugarloaf Mountain, where you can see a 360-degree view of the city as well. To go to the Sugarloaf, you have 2 cable cars, one up to the first mountain, which is called Morro da Urca, and then up to the actual Sugarloaf. So from the Sugarloaf, you see Copacabana Beach, you see Urca area, you can see the Christ. Great opportunities. And one of the newer tours is the secrets of old and new Rio. Why old and new Rio? So we have the historical center, which is our financial district of the city, where we have most of our museums and older buildings. But then we also have the Olympic Boulevard, which was built for the Olympic Games in 2016. This area of the city was very run down and ignored. And today it is a very modern part of the city. So you have the Calatrava Museum, you have the Ma Museum, which is an art museum that joins with the old buildings. So it's a very good contrast of what was old and what was new. And this is very good to do a walking tour. You can do it by metro if you need to reduce costs. And a half day in this old part of Rio is an undiscovered Rio besides just the beach, the Christ and the Sugarloaf. Our beautiful botanical gardens are also a great option for tours as well. And we have the Imperial palm tree walk here, which is something very, very unique. And that is Rio by a glance in tour-wise. Now I'd like to explain a little bit about Carnival. I know lots of people want to come to Carnival. It is the biggest party on earth. It's 5 days of festivity. It's amazing. So Carnival is actually a competition between samba schools, and the samba schools are from different communities in Rio. So each community has their own samba school, Normally we have over, I think if I'm not mistaken, Regina's on the call and she can correct me if I'm lying, but there's over like 300 different schools, but we are divided into different leagues. And now I'm going to talk about our first league school. So the carnival is all the first league schools parading, and they parade on the Sunday and the Monday. So carnival actually starts on the Saturday. On the Sunday, you have 6 schools parade. On the Monday, you have another 6 schools parade. So besides the Sambodrome with all the costumes and all of that, you also have a lot of street parties going on in the city. So it's 5 days of party, party, party. After the parade on Sunday and Monday, on Wednesday, the winners are announced, okay? And these winners will parade again the following Saturday, which we call Winners Parade. If you have clients that would like to come to Carnival, do not have the budget, because obviously the hotels are more expensive. They have 4-night mandatory packages. The tickets to the parades are more expensive. If you have clients that would like to have this experience, I definitely suggest them to come for Winners Parade, which is on the Saturday. They will see the same as you're seeing in this picture, but they will see the 6 best schools parade. So they see the winners parading again. And the city is still as vibrant during the weekend. You still have the street parties on Saturday and Sunday. You still have a lot going on. They have that carnival vibe. But on the other days, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afterwards, when they want to do the Sugarloaf, the Christ Redeemer, all those tours, the city is not that packed. So they get actually a great feeling, a great mixture of both. To give you an idea of what kind of tickets we have for the carnival, you have the grandstands, which are the best values and a great view. So Sector 9 is what we normally sell for tourists, for the reason that it is the only area that the seats are reserved on the grandstand. So when you're buying a ticket to go to the parade, you know exactly where you're going to sit. While on the other sectors, they are not booked seats. And then you have the luxury, Then you have the luxury suites, which are hospitality suites that you have food and drink and they sort of party. Those are a bit more expensive. And then you have the front boxes, which we call freezer, which is the green area, which are on the level of the parade. So here you don't see the view from above, but you see the people actually parading on the ground floor, on the floor. So ticket-wise, I would think you would look at the grandstands and then maybe the front boxes. If anyone has then any questions, you can please ask me or write on the chat box. I'll be happy to answer. So here you have a picture of what we've just seen of the Sambodrome, but actually full of people. And this is what Carnival looks like. It is really a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list opportunity. Here are some of the street parties that we have. And New Year's. New Year's is another bucket list that we need to have in Rio. The party on Copacabana Beach is over 2 million people, all dressed in white. Lots of shows, you have over 20 minutes of firework. It's a very, very peaceful celebration. We offer flowers to Iemanjá, who is the goddess of the sea. We jump 7 waves and wishing for a new year. Last year, I had an amazing New Year's on Copacabana Beach. Everything looked like it was going to be in a fantastic year ahead, and COVID came to slow us all down. But it's giving us an opportunity to do these kind of trainings and get ready for the future. So now we're going to go to some little destinations around Rio. Búzios is a charming little fishing village, 2.5 hours drive from Rio, and a great combination. So if clients want to come to Rio, do 2-3 nights in the city, get to see the highlights, then they would go for a nice little relaxed holiday to Búzios. They don't, in this case, they want to drive a little longer. They want to get out of the city. So it's an archipelago with 32 little beaches. As you can see, little boutique hotels, Very, very nice activities, boat rides, fine dining, nightlife, great shopping, very beautiful destination to give you a holiday feel. And some of the hotels that we've selected are the Port Bay Búzios Hotel, which is a 4-star superior, and La Chimère, which I would say is like a 3-star superior, nice little posada, located walking distance to the main fishing area, which is called Rua das Pedras. Very, very interesting. Okay, now we're going to go south to Paraty. Paraty is, again, a colonial town on the water. It's one of my little favorite places because it's like you're going back in time. While Búzios is our Brazilian Saint-Tropez, it's more fashionable, more modern, Paraty is taking you back a little bit in history, small little cobbled streets. You relax, unwind, surrounded by the Atlantic forest, which is all the greenery, beautiful little restaurants, art galleries, nice to put your Havaianas on and just chill, relax. Jeep tours, walking tours, secluded little beaches. So a great combination as well to combine with Rio. And as I said, Paraty is a 4-hour drive to the south. And if people are doing Rio and Paraty and they don't want to come back to Rio to get the flight to São Paulo, Paraty is, I would say, halfway between Rio and São Paulo. So they can then transfer directly from Paraty to São Paulo to get the flight back to South Africa. And here we have again some of the little pousadas. There are no big hotels in Paraty or no big hotels in Búzios. They're all smaller little boutique pousadas with 20 rooms, 30 rooms, not more than that. Ilha Grande. What is Ilha Grande? Ilha Grande is our big island. And so it's a little bit before Paraty. And it's one of the islands of Angra dos Reis. Angra dos Reis is on our green coast, also to the south of Rio, with 365 islands. So you have an island a day. And Ilha Grande is your Robinson Crusoe feeling. So here's for those guests that really want to get away from the city, that want to unwind, not be worried about television and very good internet, that want to do hiking, that want to do some walking tours, that want to enjoy chatting to people and the real connection with nature and the water. So here again, we would suggest 2 to 3 nights in Ilha Grande. So now we're leaving Rio and its surrounding areas, and we're getting our flight, and we're going for an hour and 50 minutes to Iguaçu Falls. Iguaçu borders with Argentina and Paraguay, but we share the falls with Argentina. And here, people normally ask me, oh, what side is better of the falls? Is it Argentina? Is it Brazil? Which is better? The Argentinians say it's their side. The Brazilians and myself say it's our side. I say we need to visit both sides of the falls. And why do I say that? So on Brazil, you get to see the falls. You have a 360-degree view of the falls. And you have most of the activities like the bird park, the Macuco boat tour on the Brazilian side. The Argentinian side, you get to walk the falls. So you experience a closer contact with the water, and you have the Devil's Throat, which is an enormous area where all the water actually comes running down. So both sides are important. Now, if we only have one day to see the falls, then yes, I would suggest to see the Brazilian side. So hotel-wise, we have the Nandai Comfort Hotel and Spa, which is a 3-star in the city center on the Brazilian side. Then closer to the falls, but not in the park, you have the Vivaz Cataratas, which is a new hotel. It's very, very comfortable. The rooms are big, great for families, lots of outdoor area. So also nice for a relaxing family sort of resort hotel when you need, after you've done your activities at the falls. And then inside the park, on the Brazilian side, there's only one hotel, which is the Belmont Cataratas, which is a 5-star Dulux, which is really a special hotel. And on the Argentinian side, we have the Gran Meliá, which used to be the former Sheraton, but has all been redone and is now the Gran Meliá. The good thing about the Gran Meliá is that most of the rooms, I would say half of the hotel, all the rooms have balconies and have full view. So those are the differences between the two hotels on the park. Activity-wise, as I was saying, on the Brazilian side, we have the bird park. The bird park can be visited just as a normal visit, or there's a very nice experience, which is called behind the scenes, where we have to pre-book early in the morning, and you have the opportunity to go with the carers and the bird takers to go inside the cages, feed the birds, get to learn about all the different species, but in loco, touching them and being very close. It's a great experience as well. So here we have the Devil's Throat and the Makoko boat tour, which is revitalizing. It's great. These big rubber boats go really underneath the waterfalls. And that is Iguazu by a glance. Now we're going to fly again back to the airport, not flying from Iguazu. We're going to fly from Rio or São Paulo, so I can give you a better idea of distances. And here we're talking about a 2.5-hour flight to Salvador da Bahia, our first capital, and the Afro-Brazilian capital of Brazil. One of my favorite cities. It's very colorful, very vibrant, a lot of different tastes and flavors. Most of the Brazilian music comes from this destination. It's our little Caribbean feel. So here in Salvador, it's a very historical city, as it was the first capital of Brazil. And the old town, the Pelourinho, has over 365 different churches. There are lots of different kinds of religions here. Everything is welcome. Everyone is welcome. So I would suggest for Salvador, 2-3 nights in the city and then going off to one of the beautiful beach resorts along the coast. In the city of Salvador, we've selected here Villa Bahia, which is a small little hotel inside the historical center. Fera Palace is a 5-star hotel that's just out of the historical center overlooking the bay. And then Catuçaba Resort is a beach hotel located closer to the airport of Salvador and further away from the city. And off the coast of Salvador, we have Praia do Forte, which is on the Coconut Strip. So this is a great place to combine with the city. So after 2-3 nights in the city, you can drive off 70 kilometers to Praia do Forte, where you have beautiful beach resorts and spend a couple of days. The Iberostar is an all-inclusive resort. So I know the South African market really likes all-inclusive for their holidays. Iberostar is a great option. And the Tivoli Eco Resort above is a bit more high-end, and they do not have all-inclusive, but they do have half-board or full-board opportunities. I'm briefly going to mention Fernando Noronha. I'm not going to go into big detail about it, but Fernando Noronha is a paradise for divers, and it was declared by UNESCO as Natural Patrimony of the World. They limit the number of passengers and guests that can visit the island a day, so it's good to book in advance, and it's off the coast from Recife or Natal. Okay, so it's a diver's paradise, and really, really a special destination. Right, now we're going to fly all the way to the Amazon, Manaus, the capital of the Amazon jungle. So here we have a 4-hour flight from Rio or from São Paulo. And Brazil is so big that we have a time difference between the countries. So Manaus is 2 hours behind us, and the historical part of Manaus is very interesting as well. We have an amazing opera inside the city of Manaus, which is a replica of the Opera of Paris. And in the Amazon jungle, we have 2 ways of visiting it. Either we're going to do a cruise, or we are going to stay in a lodge. If you sell a lodge, it's very important that the guests understand that the lodges are not comparable to the amazing lodges you have in Africa. We are here in the largest forest of the world, the jungle. And we have a saying in Brazil that everything we take from the jungle takes back from us. So anything you take from nature, nature takes back from you. So all the different kinds of lodges are very comfortable. They are very practical, but I would say they are more rustic. Besides the Navalhães Lodge, which is the highest end, all the other ones are comfortable. So you have some that don't have hot water, others that have hot water, some don't have air conditioning, some don't have much electricity, but the idea is to give you a real jungle experience. So you have the nature hiking, the piranha fishing, the meeting of the waters, which is something very unique, where you have the two rivers that meet, but the waters do not mix. This is an amazing phenomenon. And you have the caiman spotting, the swimming with the pink dolphins. So all these activities I'm mentioning are possible to be done either from the lodges or from the cruises. If you are on the lodge, you go out on daily excursions. And on the cruising, you are going to stop every day and do your different kind of activities. So lodges and cruises, as I mentioned before, and here you have some ideas. So for example, the Navalhães Lodge is our 5-star, if you can call it like that, lodge in the Amazon. It is also the one that is further into the heart of the Amazon. So once you get to Manaus, after your 4-hour flight, you either overnight in the historical center and then transfer to the Navalhães Lodge, which will take you around 3 hours to get there. So it is really in the heart of the jungle. Opposed to that, the Amazon Eco Park is much closer to Manaus city. So once you in Manaus, it's going to take you half an hour on the river to get to the Amazon Eco Park. It's closer to the city. So it all depends on what your guests are actually looking for. Do they want to go more into the jungle, or do they want to have a jungle experience but closer to the city? And then boat-wise, we have the Amazon Clipper, which is a more rustic, typical boat of the Amazon. You have the Clipper Premium, which is their 5-star option, and you have your Amazon Clipper, which is just the normal boat, a 3-star option. The Iberostar Grand Amazon is an all-inclusive property. It is the most luxurious boat. So it's for those clients that you have that like to cruise, that want to cruise the Amazon, but want the luxury of a 5-star hotel. So the cabins are big. All the cabins have balconies. They all have air conditioning, television. It's an all-inclusive experience. So those are to give you a brief option of what you have on the Amazon. And now I'm going to speak about an area that I don't think is sold a lot in South Africa. It is our Brazilian savanna. So you have amazing African savanna, you have your safaris, the big 5s and all of that. And in Brazil, we have our wetlands, the Pantanal. And the Pantanal is in the center of the country. It's very, very interesting, and it's a great opportunity for nature lovers. So people that do love nature, that want to experience a different savanna, and this time the Brazilian one. Great for bird watching, great for spotting the jaguar in the dry season, which is actually now. We have 2 seasons in the Amazon. We have the wet season and the dry season. The wet season is from December to June, and the dry season is now from June to September. And during the dry season is where you can see big animals that you will not see in the Amazon, for example. The Amazon, you see more monkeys, more fish, more insects, more lots of birds. In the Pantanal, you will be able to see more animals, and especially the jaguar, which is where most people come to do the jaguar spotting. In the wet season, it's very good for horse riding, bird watching, and all different kinds of activities. So here you have, for example, the piranha fishing boat tours, night safaris, where you see all these, the river filled with caimans, a lot of horseback riding, as you can see in the wet season. and the lodges. So here you have the Arara's Eco Lodge, which is in the North Pantanal, and it takes you more or less 2.5 hours from the airport to get there. And the Mutum, which is also in the same area. So 2 different options of hotels. A new product in this area is the Pereal boat, which will give you the opportunity to cruise in the Pantanal area. They have 3-night packages. The boat isn't very big. It only has 10 cabins, so a maximum of 20 people. And the Cayman Eco Lodge, which is in the South Pantanal, and it is the most luxurious lodge existent in that area at the moment. Right, so that was Brazil and a lot of product by a glance. I just quickly want to go over what we're living at the moment, which is COVID and where we stand. So Brazil at the moment still has its borders closed, but our government is working very carefully to try and create all the health and safety measurements necessary. In Rio, for example, we are going through 6 phases. We are now on phase 3, where shops are starting to open up. Gyms are opening up this weekend. So certain things are slowly starting to open up. I find that there are some hotels, very few that are open, but it's more for local market. The bigger chains will be opening from August to September. And I personally think that from September onwards, we will start opening up the borders. But as everything is changing daily, and I'm sure you will relate to that a lot in South Africa, everything is very uncertain for the world, but we will definitely be back sooner than later. Our initiatives is first and utmost keeping the team and our guides motivated. We've been all very in close contact with our suppliers, in contact with the team, creating new products so that we can welcome all of your guests. We are also preparing all the health and safety measurements necessary with our suppliers, only working with suppliers that are compliant with all the health and safety measurements that the World Organization is putting in place. And now it's not only bad news. The good news is that with COVID-19, people are going to want to be a lot outdoors, and there's no better destination to give you an opportunity to be outdoors than Brazil. And everything here, as you can see from these pictures, is outdoors. So we have amazing destinations where everyone can be outdoors. I have a question here, hold on. So Ronald is asking me, where do you fly to visit the Pantanal? Sorry, I didn't mention that. So to visit the Pantanal, you have the North and South Pantanal, and you're going to fly to an airport called Cuiabá, okay? Cuiabá for the North Pantanal, and if you're going to visit the South Pantanal, you're going to fly into Campo Grande. So going back to our outdoor, 90% of Brazil's activities are outdoors. You have the Lençóis Maranhenses, you have the Pantanal, we have Rio, we have Iguaçu, we have the whole of the Northeast. So I just want to show you quickly a small little video of Brazil before we go into questions. Just 1 second. Regina is going to have to help me here because my sound is not working very well. So Regina, I've put you as a host. Could you please show the video? Regina? Regina, are you there?
Yes, just a second.
Okay, thank you.
video.
So while we're waiting for Regina to put the video on, I don't know if anyone else has any questions.
This is Albert. I just want to find out, most of the people would fly into Sao Paulo. Would you recommend that you stay over there? Is there much to see? I know it's a huge city, or is it really just a port to get through into the rest of the country?
Hi, Albert. Great question. I didn't mention São Paulo on purpose, but you brought up a great question. It is the entry port into Brazil coming from South Africa. It is the New York of South America. It's an interesting city, but I wouldn't suggest it as a tourist destination. It's a big cosmopolitan city. As I say, it's the New York of South America, but all the museums, everything are in Portuguese. So unless people are very interested in seeing a huge cosmopolitan city, I wouldn't think that São Paulo has that much to offer as a tourist destination.
So if you would fly into Sao Paulo, you would stay close to the airport if your connection is not favorable, and then just move through to the next destination.
And then move forward, yeah. I don't think you would need to go into the city. And also the airport in Sao Paulo is about an hour and a half out of the city center. So it's a lot of transferring just for one overnight. But then again, it depends on who you're bringing into the city. If it's a younger couple that like really, really trendy restaurants, like really boutique hotels, then yes, I would say give them the experience of the South American New York for a night or two. But it's a very business-orientated city, very focused there. So there are a lot of airport hotels that have shuttles from the airport that are very close. And so I would suggest then in that case that they just overnight by the airport.
So very similar to South Africa, Brazil also has a bad rap for security concerns. I was there a year ago and we never saw anything like that. So I think it's also what people see in the news maybe is not always a true reflection. Maybe you can just give us some comfort.
Okay, so again, a great question. Just like South Africa, we are always in the news, but always for the negatives, not for the positives, right? So Rio, we have to think of a city with over 10 million people living in them, okay? And it's a city that, when you were here, I don't know if you were in what city, if you were in Rio.
Rio.
Yeah, okay. So I'm sure you saw the communities. The communities are very integrated into the city.
We did visit one of the communities as well, and that was perfect. It was actually not what you would expect.
It's very different. It's very different to your South African communities. And so they're very integrated into the city. So as I was saying, you have 10 million people. I would say that you need to be city smart here. You can walk in the streets, you're not going to be mugged. You just need to be cautious. You're not going to walk around with a huge camera around your neck with all your gold and bling and do and say, hi, I'm a tourist. Because then in Copacabana, it's probable that you are going to get pickpocketed. But if you just be normal and natural and city smart, nothing is going to happen. It's a big city with a lot of people, so there's a lot of pickpocketing. The crime, I don't think here people rape anybody or kill anybody just for killing. It's what goes out in the media is not exactly the reality. So yes, it is safe. And what I feel with the South African market, especially when they are here, they feel very comfortable to walk around.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what we experienced as well. So that's the point I was trying to make, is that people might not want to visit because of that reputation, but we never experienced anything like that. And South Africans are streetwise. Yeah,
are streetwise because you live in, and very different to what you have in South Africa, where you don't walk a lot. Everything you drive. I don't know where you're based, if it's in Johannesburg or in Cape Town. Maybe Cape Town you walk around a little bit more. But in Joburg, people drive everywhere. They don't walk. And so what I feel is when people are here, they enjoy the possibility of being outdoor, of walking, of relaxing. And as you say, you just need to be smart. I've worked in this industry for some time, and I must say that it's very, very rare that we have any issue with clients being robbed or mugged here in Rio.
Confirmed. Cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So just a quick 1-minute video on Brazil. Regina, we can't hear anything.
No,
No.
this is
If I can make a suggestion, maybe you can send the link via chat and everybody can go and watch it online.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think that would be the best. We'll send the link of the video on the chat, and then people can listen to it at home.
okay. I just think that you can hear now.
You are very near and dear to us in Brazil. But right now, it is better to stay at home and enjoy every moment with the ones you love. We know that it's difficult to stay away from such a beautiful, engaging, and unique country, but this is a noble cause, and it is for the good of us all. Just don't forget that we're getting ready to welcome you with all our joy, preserved nature, history, culture, faith, rivers, beaches, lakes, forests, unique events, water sports, wonderful cities, lots of adventure, architecture, fauna and flora, delicious gastronomy, and the spontaneous smile of a people that loves to welcome tourists like you. We just can't wait to have you here. But wait just a little while. When life and travel are back on track, you are more than invited to fall in love with a continental country that is beautiful by nature. So, when all is well, come to love and be enchanted with Brazil.
Right, so that was briefly a little bit of what we have to offer. I hope that helped you a little bit, and that in the near future we'll have lots of bookings to this amazing country, and that you can all come and visit sooner.
Thank you, Anna. That was absolutely amazing. I think you covered everything. One of my favorite cities in the world. It was love going to Brazil. So thank you for joining us. And yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any more questions, but thanks, Albert, as well, for giving us the reassurance there. It was excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. It's time now. We should have a caipirinha lesson, but it's a bit too early for me, so that you can enjoy the rest of the afternoon with a caipirinha.
Caipirinha, good idea. Thanks, Anna.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Cheers.
Thank you too. Have a nice Friday.
Thank you, Regina. Bye.
Bye.